Good afternoon, everybody. How are you all doing? This is Suzanne here for our weekly live. The lovely Charlotta Coley is going to be joining me just in a second. Instagram is telling my followers I've started a live video. Fantastic. Let's see. Okay, we're adding. Let's see. Is it working? It is working. There you are.
Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon. Good.
Cool.
Happy to be here today.
Oh,
how are you?
It's chilly. I'm just going to say it's chilly. It's one of those days where you kind of go, I need a scarf. I need something. It's just a little bit chilly where I am.
It is. I agree.
Yeah. Okay.
Now I'm that way up here in Glasgow too.
Cut right to the chase, young lady. We are. I've had the most exciting 4 weeks talking to you. I've learned so much, and I just think it's really important that we just talk about everything. Just do a recap today, if that's okay with you. So I want to know, Suzanne, I know who you are, but if you could please tell everybody and anybody who's watching who hasn't met you before, who doesn't know you, who are you and what do you do, please?
Hi, I'm Suzanne Luft. I am a speech therapist. I do voice and communication therapy. And
I was going to say, with regards to us recapping, you have in bags of experience, and you also refer to something called your bag of tricks, and I love that. So could you please tell us what we've covered in the previous 3 weeks, to literally go through? And hello to Charlotte. Hello.
Hi, Charlotte. Yes. So the first week we covered why I do what I do, why I'm so passionate about it. I love the voice. I love helping people find their authentic voice. The second week, I talked more about the voice. Why is the voice such an amazing tool? We really take it for granted. We kind of abuse it sometimes when we go out and cheer at our football matches or what have you. And it helps us with our, kind of setting forth our identity. So it's amazing. Last week we talked about what happens in a voice assessment with a therapist. So it's kind of sciencey. It's a lot of meticulous data collection for me. But there's a reason for that, because I want to have all the information I need to provide the best possible service in the therapy sessions. And that's what we're going to talk about today, is what happens once you get to this point.
So what does actually happen in the therapy sessions then? Because obviously we now know that you obviously have an extensive amount of experience when it comes to dealing with all kinds of voice issues, from children to actors, but specifically you are a specialist when it comes to gender affirming, and I'd love you to please break down what it is that you do in that therapy, please.
So when I'm working with transgender persons, they have a goal. There's something that's causing them pain, and it could be physical pain in some cases. It could be emotional pain because that voice that they are using is not matching their identity. So my goal is to remove the pain by using my bag of tricks. It's different for every person, whatever they need. I'm going to pull it out and apply it. If it doesn't work, it'll be something else. So for lots of reasons, it's hard to describe exactly what I do because it's different for every person.
So you basically have a secret sauce, though, don't you? Because you have done so much work before they'd even met you, from all of the research. So it's actually probably down to the person and what they do to get the best out of it. So like, what's the structure that you put in place? What's your roadmap? I think that's what you call it, don't you? A roadmap?
I I do. I have a roadmap. I have a process, and I use that to help help the client become more comfortable with their body. So we have meditation, we have relaxation, and we have vocal work, and we might move into more advanced work with intonation, um, nonverbals.
So I guess when you say nonverbals, you're, you know, that's me. Like now, me talking to you, nonverbals is visual. So you do the whole. It's holistic, right?
It is holistic, yes, and respiratory support is really important. So that's why I'm trying to get each person to ultimately be independent, right?
Okay.
Sometimes there's things that I'm going to work on to make sure the voice is healthy, but as the person practices on their own, they've got a process in place. So we're not throwing spaghetti at the wall, right? Like, I don't know, I want my voice to be higher. No, that's not how it works. I've got a process set up. I will repeat it in every session until it feels settled and the person's confident. And I also do a home program for each person based on the session. So again, they can go home and feel confident with how they're going to practice.
Okay. Have you got any examples of like what you do? Could you share like an exercise or something?
Well, I teach people about the acoustics of their voice. So, for example, if you want your voice to sound more feminine, it's not just about higher pitch. You might be using brighter consonants. Everything's very bright and forward and hello, how are you? And you can hear that. It's sort of, I call it the Mary Poppins voice, you know. So it sounds a little British, even though I know if you're British, you're like, that's not right, Suzanne. But
Well, you know,
you
Dick
get
Van
the
Dyke, I'm
idea.
not going there.
Even in American English, I can change so that everything's very bright. I'm getting this forward sh 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 sound. As opposed to if I'm a trans man, I want to have a darker sound, then I have to access throat resonance and maybe chest resonance, right?
Okay.
So I can do that right now. Like, we'll never read that Forest Fair, boo-boo, as long as I'm smarter than the average bear. So this is what we call vocal play.
So you actually make the speech therapy that you offer fun. You make it accessible to people. So it doesn't feel onerous then, I guess. Is that your part of your magic?
Definitely, I don't want it to feel onerous. As soon as I have a sense that somebody is feeling stressed out, I'm like, whoa, 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 stop, because I can feel that in my body. Like, okay, stop. That's why we start with the breathing. Relax, reconnect to your breath.
Okay.
It's the source of the voice. And let's find a way to make this fun and playful. Like if I can get a client to crack up in a session, then I know I've done something amazing for them because they're playing with their voice. This is how we learn to speak as a baby. We play with our voice and someone's like, poop, 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 poop. You know, so not in any way to diminish what we're doing, but it's very important.
Okay. So you tailor it for people. It's extremely customized in terms of the time it takes, because I think time equals money, and it means how much time and how much money people obviously at this particular juncture in time may be struggling somewhat because of life. How would they, in order to be able to feel that they can access you, what would you be able to offer them as some help, to guidance, so that they know that they can come to you and speak to you?
Well, I always offer a free phone consult, you know, and people are different phases in their transition. So maybe they're not quite ready. Maybe they're thinking about it. We can talk about what their concerns are. Are they having pain? And then I can recommend, working with me as a therapist, obviously, there's a lot of flexibility in what I do because we could try every 2 weeks if your budget is requiring less of an output of money. I generally recommend about 12 weeks, but again, that's just a general, maybe you're gonna go home, work really hard, and do everything that I tell you to, which of course will make me love you because you're gonna progress really fast, and I'm gonna be like, yes. And if somebody does that, they could move along really quickly with every 2 weeks. So um, there's a lot of variation in that, and again, I'm available via teletherapy, so location is not such an issue as it used to be, right? You had to get to the clinic, you had to have an office space, etc.
The flexibility is brilliant. You do it via Zoom. You can work it out. Well, how long is an average session with you, please, Suzanne?
Average session is 50 minutes,
Okay.
and I just schedule them when it works for you throughout the day.
Okay. So in terms of you know, you still have a license to be able to treat people in America as well. Is that right? You can treat people in the UK and in America. Is that right? Is it a particular part of America or just all over America?
Yes, so in the US right now, you have to be licensed in the state that you're working in. So right now I'm licensed in Michigan.
Okay,
So
cool.
I'm licensed in Michigan and throughout the UK.
Yeah. So I'm your guinea pig, and I know that there are times when you're tired, especially people who are on constant Zooms. And good afternoon to, I saw Javier come along and I can see Lachelle. So I just want to acknowledge that we've got Charlotte, we've got a few people watching us, and it's so nice. Thank you so much. We all struggle with Zoom fatigue. We struggle with, in my case, I love Clubhouse. And I know that people are putting together lots of online stuff, and they're not trained in how to use their voices for an extensive period of time. Could you offer a tip or some tips on what people could do to make it less onerous? I think that's the word I'm going to use. What can you offer people so that they can be better at speaking for longer? What do you think? And hey, Alex, it's my yoga teacher, Alex.
Hi, Alex. Yes, well, it really all comes back to that respiratory support, that diaphragmatic breathing. A really easy way to do this, which I feel comfortable recommending because I don't know what your physical circumstances are. Obviously, I don't want to recommend something like yoga that maybe your body's not ready for. But if you just lean forward and inhale, and then you lean back, and as you exhale, you draw those lower abdominal muscles in. And you do that a couple of times. Now, when you lean forward, you relax those abdominal muscles. It creates a vacuum. The air should just flow right in. Whereas we get in a habit of breathing really high, and you can tell if I'm breathing like that, all this tension goes right into all of these muscles and into the teeny tiny delicate muscles in our throat. So a few shoulder rolls to reset your posture,
Right.
lean forward.
So can you talk me through it again? You hold your breath as you lean. What? Sorry, I'm not being clear here. Or I'm not.
That's all right. Relax, lean forward, and as you do, relax your lower abdominals, your belly,
Yeah.
your belly, the part that I suck in because I don't want people to see.
Okay.
Relax it. The air should flow in without any effort. And then as you draw back up, this is a very common sensation in yoga because you do the forward fold and then you have the flat back and you come back up. As you come back up, you should be exhaling and supporting with your abdominal muscles. So this is going to connect you to this fundamental fuel that you need for your voice. As you get this deeper power of your voice, you know, for me, it feels like I have a pillar of air that's moving straight forward through the front of my face. And suddenly speaking is powerful and easy. I would say another thing is we're coming up on allergy season. Stop clearing your throat. If you're clearing your throat a lot when you're speaking, you're creating an incredible amount of vocal trauma, right? Like clearing your throat every minute, bam, 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 60 times in an hour. Just stop doing it. Find a lozenge, get some water. You can also try a little exhale, like a whisper exhale, and then swallow. That'll clear the phlegm in a gentle way. The catarrh, that's what they call it in the UK, the catarrh.
Yeah. Habit, isn't it? You do things because you didn't know any better. So learning to, I love the fact that we have Vesna on as well. Hello, Vesna, who does sing and sign for little people as well. And Lachelle's very kindly mentioned, she's made a comment, say this is really interesting about the breath work, because I think, you know, I know you're very specialized in the gender affirming, but I think for the people who are watching today, certainly it's, hi, Vesna. It's so nice to connect. I just think a lot of these little takeaways are so key. So in case people missed what we've discussed in the weeks previous, could you please do another little recap on what we talked about in weeks 1, 2, 3, and today in week 4? So if anybody wants to go back and watch them, they can. I know you're probably going to create some shorter videos so that people can see recaps, say, of what was discussed. And I know that
Definitely.
I know that what you do and how you do it is done with so much love. You are very passionate and you care deeply about all of your patients, all of your clients, and irrespective of age, gender, whatever it might be, you're giving them tools, I know, that will empower them for the rest of their lives. And I love and respect you so much for what you teach. So please recap, what have you taught people previously?
Thank you, and thank you for the great comments. So the first week I talked about, it was just why I do what I do. I'm passionate about the voice, and I'm passionate about helping people find their authentic voice. This comes back to like my life experiences. It comes back to recognizing this really special group of people, the transgender people that are going through so much, and they need the support and they need to feel happy about their voice, because you can change your makeup and your clothes and this and that, but if you're afraid of opening your mouth to talk, that's a really deep fear.
Okay, so you overcome their fear, and that's part of lesson. That's our talk 1.
Yes, that's like just an amazing experience to be a part of. And then the second one was about just your voice, everyone's voice, right? It's an amazing tool, and we go and abuse it, or you know, we don't take care of it, and then we're like, why can't I talk? I've got an article on my Facebook page that is a link to a Guardian article of somebody who was singing in a rock band and was just like totally misusing his voice. And then he realizes later, when he finally seeks treatment, he realizes how much this has affected his voice and his life, that he feels hesitant to talk. So then last week we talked about assessment, which I think is a scary word, but I mean, we have to use it. As a professional, I have to be like, oh, it's an assessment, it's an evaluation, right? Well, because I'm meticulously gathering all the data. Trust me, it's a lot harder for me than for my clients, because I just tell my clients, okay, repeat after me. My mama makes lemon muffins, you know, do this, say ah, hold as long as you can.
Right.
Then I go back and I analyze everything.
Okay. And then today, obviously, we've talked about what actually happens and what you do.
Yes, and it is fun.
Yeah.
I always want to end my sessions on a bright note and say, look, this is what you did today. This was amazing. This is what I'm going to put in your home program. Let's talk about it. What's the best way to approach it? Do you feel comfortable with this? Maybe that's too much for this time. We're going to break it down and make it simpler, because you sometimes you say, I want to get from A to B, like as a therapist. I want to get someone from A to B. Well, what you have to realize is that maybe there's like 10 little points in between. So that's part of my professional expertise, is to be a guide in that way.
Okay. And more than anything, the fun of working with you, because you're just a joy to be. You're a brilliant friend, and you're brilliant at what you do, clearly. And I know from some of the stories that you've told me, well, not stories, some of the examples you've kindly shared with me, that there is an amazing passion and care when somebody tells you that after their sessions and they've achieved their goal, that you've helped them. You actually achieved the goal. They have overcome the pain, and it's physical pain as well as emotional pain. So I just think what you do is amazing. I'm so proud and thrilled that you asked me to talk to you about everything. I would love to continue talking again about this. Give us one final teeny tiny tip on breathwork today, please, that we could do that might be a fun thing to do, especially with people who've got little children or family or friends, that a little teasy something, I don't know, because you've got so many exciting little tricks that make us think outside of the box. Go on. I'm asking you to deep dive.
Okay. So I would say the energy that you need to access is right there for you if you do some basic stretches. When I was singing on a regular basis, I had a whole system where I would start with stretching up, I would roll down.
So what am I doing?
You have kids.
So what am I doing? So what am I doing? Give me a step by step.
You stretch your arm up like this.
Yeah.
Then you are stretching your torso, all of these muscles that control the rib cage.
Yep.
If the rib cage gets locked up, then your breath is going to not be happy. Okay?
Okay.
So you can do this a couple of times. Stretch up. And it also lifts us out of this crunched position that we live in, basically, right? Because we're like at the computer or the TV or whatever.
Do I need to breathe in a certain way, please, Suzanne, when I'm lifting up? In or
Just
out?
try to breathe normally, but make sure you're breathing. Make sure you're breathing.
Okay.
A couple of stretches like this, especially as you're standing.
Okay, so
a couple of big arm circles.
Okay.
And then a gentle roll down forward, and then slowly, slowly come up and lift your chin last. Okay. Yeah, that is like a wonderful way to just energize your body before you do anything, really. But especially if you're teaching, you're doing teleconferences, what have you, and you want to be excited and engaged with your audience.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. And we've had lots of resonance just as that is really helpful to prepare before singing a lot. Thank you. And we've had a few more people join us as well. I know that Charlotte says she spent 75 minutes talking continuously in workshops this morning. This is great advice. So yeah, and Lachelle saying thank you so much. Looking forward to watching other videos. This is brilliant. So some wonderful feedback. Thank you so much. And thank you, Lachelle. Just saying that's awesome. Love that exercise. So shall we call it a day for today?
Yes, it's been great talking to you. I think we've covered some amazing things.
Brilliant. And we can find out about you with the details in link in your bio. You have a Facebook page. You also have a website, and you've got a lot of free resources. Mustn't forget to mention those. So people can go
You
to your
do.
website
You do.
and do some more of these amazing exercises. And thank you to you, and thank you to everybody who's been watching us. Really appreciate everything you're doing. And Suzanne, I think you're amazing. So I'm super proud, and thank you.
Thank you for your amazing help with all of this as well. So, all right. Love you guys. Everybody, have a wonderful day, and we'll see you later.
Yeah, see you later, alligator.
See you later. Okay, take care, everybody.
Bye bye.
Bye.